it or not, there is a moment meant for us. And now you made it, but I already played this. Not interested, open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. Shadow and me are one.
Hey everybody, this is the duo that you love to love, Jason and Sherman, and we are the Chopping It Up crew here at the USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be here with you. I still haven't figured that out, Sherman. I'm trying to figure this one out, but I do.
Well, yeah, it's a mystery to some. It's a mystery. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great, having a great time, and really getting opportunities to watch a ton of the different age groups here of the Summer of Poomsae. Been so impressed with our adults, so impressed with our juniors. Now we're looking at cadets, and really the future of USA Taekwondo Poomsae is sitting right here in these episodes.
Right. And it's great. You know, it's one thing to watch adults do it, but then you start looking at 12 to 14-year-olds, and you're thinking, yo, they're this good this early. You know, it's just an upward ascent from this point.
No, you're right. Yeah, their maturity level and their execution and technique, fantastic. Really adult-like, if you will, and that's what I've really noticed at this point. So couldn't be more impressed with our adults, juniors, and now cadets. And Sherman, we have semifinals, so let's talk about these semifinals.
Yeah, listen, we have our male cadet semifinals today. So we have green and blue belts, and all of those young men will advance to the finals. And then we have red belts. 8 of them will advance to the final, and we have black belts. 8 of them will advance to the final. So it's a lot of names that you've seen before. You had the pleasure of working at the Grand Slam, and you got to see a lot of these names. And so it should be some excellent forms being delivered on today.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Without question, I had an opportunity to watch some of these elite athletes. A lot of them were actually in the Poomsae Grand Slam, and so they've had that great experience at the National Center of Excellence, doing it out there on the map. But now, you know, virtually, they found a way to deliver their Poomsae. Now, obviously, virtually, but the good part about this is going to ultimately help them get that #1 ranking that they're all searching for with our new Poomsae rankings, and it's going to add to their point total to get them on that pathway, which they can see now to our national team. So good luck to all these competitors. It's going to be a great competition, a ton of competitors again. So, you know, kudos to USA Taekwondo and their ability to get the athletes out.
To get them in, right.
You know, and so they're just continually do it. So, Sherman, without further ado, let's take it out to our commentators for the semifinals in the green, the blue, the red, and of course, that cadet. These are all males. That's that Cadet Male Black Belt division, which is gigantic.
Best of luck to you, gentlemen. Let's get it.
Everyone, this is National Poomsae Coach and 2020 National Poomsae team member Barbara Brand, along with head of team 2016 and 2018 World Championships Master Ronald Southwick. Welcome to episode 5 of Summer of Poomsae. We're going to begin this episode with the Cadet Male Green semi-final round. This on the screen right now is Jackson Williamson. Good evening, Master Southwick. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Let me just tell you, it is a great honor to be kind of serving with you here again on the Summer of Poomsae. And I'll tell you, part of the joy of this whole thing is the commentary. And you've been doing a great job, and that's one of the things I've been really watching and enjoying.
Well, thank you very much. I just enjoyed watching that great performance there from Jackson Williamson. He received the first score of the night, 5.87 for take a hill jump. That's got to be fun, being such a young athlete and having this national, if not international stage right there. So we hope his family and every family of every athlete out here is going to be excited and super proud of all of the action tonight.
Yeah, he's got, let's see who's up here. Maxine Schleff, also from Versus, Coach Seth Wilson here. It's great to see green belts, yellow belts, red belts, all the color belts out there competing these days.
So fun. Maxim is from Versus Sport Taekwondo in Kansas. So it's really fun to see people from all over the country. Our first competitor was from Utah, and our third competitor will be from Kansas also. His score
6.27, yeah, good.
Fantastic. We have 3 competitors in total in this division. So they're each doing 1 Poomsae. Then his 6.27 really boosted him up into the first place position.
And these are the Cadet Male Green Belts right now.
Right, that means 12 to 15-year-old.
And Caleb Hansen now, also from Versus, as you said, Master Brand. These are future Poomsae team members, I hope.
This is a great way to get started for sure. Not only do you get to perform, you get to take a look at everybody else's performance and analyze it, take some time, sit down with your coach and your family to come up with a plan to make your Poomsae even stronger for the next time out. It's really great. Kick height.
Yeah, and Caleb is really moving very cleanly. I don't see a lot of extra motion with him, no wiggling. That's going to help him a lot, I think, for his score here.
So he finishes up with a 6.1, which I believe puts him in second place. And again, this is only the semifinal round. So we'll see all of these athletes again in the final round in an upcoming episode. So in first place, we have Maxim Schleff, followed by Caleb Hansen and Jackson Williamson in the Cadet Male Green Belt semifinal. We're going to move on to the Cadet Male Blue Belt semifinal round, starting with Pei Hall.
I do really enjoy seeing all the different dojongs and training spaces. This is a really beautiful dojang.
Yeah, Pei trains in New York. He's part of Team Agape, and he coaches. He's trained by Coach John Ray and Holly Ray.
Those side kicks were very good. And this is a blue belt. Amazing.
I really like the effort he's putting into the low stances, whether it be a front stance or a back stance. Looks like he's really trying to get nice and low, have a very strong foundation.
That was a very strong performance.
We have 4 competitors in this round, all from different states, which is fun. He receives a 6.47. Up next will be Andrew Kruger. He's from Nevada, and he trains at Impact Taekwondo under Coach Alan Ramos. So we've seen quite a few athletes from this club in Summer of Poomsae, so it's really nice that they have a strong team and plenty of support as they're training and hopefully as they're performing here. Maybe take some time to text each other, give each other a call, some words of support and encouragement as you're watching the competition unfold.
Taekwondo 4 always such a fun form and a real break. It brings people from that kind of beginning stage to real intermediate, approaching advanced stages too. The side kicks, very big challenge in this one, and that was Andrew gave it a good effort on that.
And he receives a 5.97 for his effort. So the first 3 taegeuks, we think of those as foundational Poomsae, where we learn all the basic stances and hand techniques for the lower belt forms. And then we get to taegeuk sajang, and wow, a huge change. Very difficult techniques in taegeuk sajang, so it gives athletes a lot of credit for putting their Poomsae together.
Here we are with another great interview with USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae. And I've got a special guest. It is Narayan Banerjee. He is Cadet Male Blue Belt you're competing here in the Summer of Poomsae. Obviously, this is our first one, so this is your first time. So preparation, ultimately submitting your Poomsae. Take us through Narayan's competition, from how long it took you to how many takes, things like that.
Well, it took me a few days for my videos, over a course of in the course of a few hours for me to get all my videos.
Yeah, a few hours of just the same couple of Poomsae over and over again. Is that correct?
Well, it was for the multiple Poomsaes that I had to do. That's what took me out.
That's awesome. Okay, so did you do it at home? Did you do it in your dojang? Did you do it outside? Give us a little more info on how you created this Poomsae.
I did it in my garage where
I love it.
set up mats.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Got to get creative during COVID. And we were speaking a little bit off camera, and you talked about you were playing a ton of competitive soccer. And then all of a sudden COVID hits you or not, but talking about your soccer days, you know, you're playing, what position you play on your soccer team?
I play midfield.
Yeah, I love that. So you're doing all of the work. That's what the midfielders do. They do the defense, they do the offense, they do both. So you're running all up and down the field. Best game, most goals scored, just your best game. Tell us about it.
My best game, I scored 2 goals, and it was a really fun game, and I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Well, Narayan, first, good luck at the Summer of Poomsae. We here at USA Taekwondo are so glad you're competing with us here, and we look forward to seeing you at some of our live events down the road, and also congratulations on the 2-goal game. But again, look forward to seeing you live. Good luck and congratulations again on your submission. We'll see how it goes down the road. It is Narayan Banerjee here on Chopping It Up. This is USA Taekwondo Summer Poomsae. See you guys soon.
This is Narayan Banerjee. He's from Sacramento Taekwondo. Looks like he has a nice training space in his garage.
And I think he's coached by Master Barbara Brand, if I'm not wrong about that. I think that's right.
You're right, in Sacramento, where right now it's hovering around 112 degrees. So him being out in the garage anytime in Sacramento, that's a fun thing and challenging thing at the same time.
Well, he looks really good. I like his stances. I mean, for his long legs, it fits when he has that nice extended position. Really strong. 6.23.
He's a third of 4 competitors in the division. So again, this is just a semifinal round, and we'll see all of these athletes again in the final round. So he ends up with a 6.23. And then we'll move on to Wenduo Zhu. Wenduo is from Texas, and he trains with Master Sungjim Lee.
Nice centered frame on that picture. Really adds to it here.
Yeah, everything's important when you're recording, so it's nice to see he's well lit, done a nice base, so that he has plenty of room to throw those high kicks up. Look at that. Those were
beautiful. Beautiful.
Nice high front kick as well. And he has a good recovery, so he's just not kind of swinging his leg and letting it fall down. Looks like he's really in control of the technique.
Absolutely. Flexibility is not one of his issues at all. It's kind of nice to see this coming up with the lower belts and moving ourselves up. We can really see the differences in how each athlete develops. And a 6.77. Great job, Wendy.
Great job. Right. So we not only have male blue belts and green belts, we're also going to have the red belts and black belts in this episode. So Wenduo Zhu finishes up in 6.77 and ends up in place in the semifinal round. Good job. He's followed by Pei Hall, Narayan Banerjee, and Andrew Kruger. We're going to move on to the Cadet Red Belt semifinal round. And our first competitor is Alexander Withar.
Another Do Jong we have seen a lot of.
Right. He trains in Texas. He's with Master Lee's World Champion Taekwondo, and he's coached by Master Hyun Hoon Lee. Really trying to spread out those front stances. Give him a lot of credit because now when he makes a transition, he has to make sure that his weight can shift with good balance. So the longer the are, the more difficult it is sometimes.
Yeah, and that middle bar is really difficult, throwing those front kicks off that front leg like that.
So in this line and the line closest to the camera, he did a really great job on those front stances. Next steps for him would probably be able to do the same in that midline where his stances were just a little bit on the shorter side, but hey, we all have room for growth. He received a 5.87 for that first Poomsae, and the only Poomsae that these athletes, wait a moment here.
Yeah, these are two on the red belts.
Two Poomsae. So the second one here going right into Taeguk Sajang.
So now we'll be able to see the differences from the last Taeguk Sajang with these more advanced students.
Right, hopefully we'll see more developed balance, maybe a little bit more kick height, maybe a little more clearer stops and starts to all of the hand technique.
Some good extended stances, a little bit of extra motion there. The judges will probably knock that down a little bit, but still great performance. So a 6-1-3.
So we have 16 competitors in this division. So that there's a lot of room to go up or down the side. His final score is 6.0.
We have an interview here.
And we're here at the Summer of Poomsae. It's presented by USA Taekwondo. I'm Jason Poos with my man, Christian Harris, a male cadet red belt. Christian, how you doing today?
Good.
Hanging out there in Torrance, California. I love the area. It's a beautiful area out there. So I have been there before. So I do love that area where you live. But you've been competing now in Poomsae for a while. So you've been to plenty of live events, been out there on the mat, on the big stage. But now you're competing in a virtual tournament, the Summer of Poomsae. What is difference between, tell us some differences, I should say, between the Summer of Poomsae virtual event and the live events that you've attended in the past?
So what I think about the live events is that you only have one chance to do the Poomsae, and if you mess up, then you have to go to a different tournament to compete. But about the virtual tournament, you can keep going after. If you mess up, then you keep going and going. And then if you think that one chance is good, then you can send that in.
No, you're right. You know, you can continually to make it better when you think you have that perfect Poomsae, then you send it, like you said. And it's been interesting to hear the athletes say, I'm doing it over and over again because I haven't had that perfect one. So it's pretty interesting. Definitely different. They don't have that crowd. You don't have that one and done mentality of the competition. But at the end of the day, you have to go out there and compete. And it sounds like you guys really figured it out with your, taking your time and submitting it, and then ultimately sending off the one that you think is going to give you the best chance to win. So I love that. Let's talk a little bit about some hobbies outside of Taekwondo, though, for a second. So what do you like to do when you're not competing in Poomsae?
I like to play basketball.
Yeah, you like to hoop it up. What's your favorite pro basketball team, NBA team? You have one?
Probably Curry.
That's your player? So you like the Warriors? You like the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to be your friend a little longer because I'm a Thunder fan. So I was hoping you were going to say the Thunder and Chris Paul and, all my guys on the Thunder. No, obviously Curry can do it all. So let's do this. We get to one of these live events. You get your best player that's there at the event. I'm going to get my partner, Sherman Nelson. We're going to do a little 2-on-2 hoops, us two against you two. How's that sound?
Okay.
I like it. I like our chances. Sherman's pretty big. He's a pretty good hooper. but I like our chances. So it's Jason and Sherman versus you and your best player. How do you? Well, they can't be some pro. They're gonna have to be somebody up from your club. How's that sound? Let's do it. All right, I love it. Say it again.
My best player, probably. I have a lot, so I don't really know.
Well, they're going to have to do Taekwondo because they're going to have to be at an event, so you're going to have to limit it to that. But we're going to set it up. Don't worry, Christian. We'll set it up. Look, I just want to say good luck at the Summer of Poomsae presented by USA Taekwondo. We want you to continue to compete in our events, and having this virtual one that USA Taekwondo was solid enough to come out with this really good format. Appreciate you competing. Appreciate you spending some time with me here on Chopping It Up. And I look forward to watching you down the line, and we're going to get that hoops game going. Sherman and Jason versus Christian and not a pro.
Okay.
Our next competitor is Christian Harris, and Christian trains in California at QE Taekwondo, and he's coached by Master Robert Vargas.
Jump.
It's always fun to have a friend nearby when you're training or competing, so it's nice to see that he has Bob right behind him to give him a.
Bob takes a lot of punishment from us, I've noticed. I mean, we're always picking on Bob, but Bob has trained champions, so we have to give Bob a lot of credit as well.
You can see his gaze is definitely on Christian here, making sure.
Absolutely.
He's a really nice pace here. He's really trying to finish everything, make every step important. Just important when you're a red belt. You really want to make sure that you place importance on every technique and not just have any throwaway parts of the Poomsae.
Yeah, Christian has a really good presence.
I admire his back stance. Nice and low, clean, well balanced. Good job to Christian Harris.
Sure.
His score is 6.6. Nice little gap for him on this first one. Let's see how he does on the second.
Beautiful up-kubi. Maybe just a little extra movement.
He has tons of potential. And just check that pivoting there, making sure that pivot is from the ball of the foot rather than the heel. That might be something that he and his coach can discuss while watching this recording, or maybe popping on YouTube during a training session.
Pro.
That was Christian Harris from California. And his second Poomsae is coming up with a score of 6.93, so quite a bit higher than his first one at 6.6.
Absolutely. So 6.77 then for his final.
Right, and the first competitor had a score of 6.0, so we have quite a gap there already. Let's see if he can hold on to that, because we have 16 competitors, and we're just getting started here. Oh, I love an outdoor venue.
Here's our first outdoor.
This is Aiden Jones. Found just the right amount of shade for his table pole jump. Aiden's from Texas, and he trains at Vasquez Taekwondo Academy under coach and master Julian Vasquez.
So Aiden really needs to kind of get his stances down a little bit stronger for him. I think he can do that, and that would really improve his performance a lot here. A little bend in the leg.
It's sometimes difficult on grass, but so we can't really know what they're feeling. But at the same time, I agree. If he can get those stances solid and build his Poomsae from the floor up or from the ground up, he's really going to improve those scores. I see the intent. I see.
Yes, ma'am. And that's really the part of the game that's important. It starts with the stances. That's the fundamental component that we need to get down, because without that, we can't perform the hand techniques we can't perform the kicking. We can't do anything without the stance.
It looks like Aiden has a good understanding of the directions to move toward and what the individual techniques are. So the next step for him will definitely be to start from the ground up. Start with those stances. There are quite a few different stances in Taeguk Sajang, and then build from there. He got a higher score on that one, 4.63, following a 4.0 after the first one. So got all the way up to 4.32. Great effort for Aiden Jones.
Absolutely.
Kunye.
Up next, we have Ian
Jumbi.
Zakarenka. And this is a club we've seen many
Yeah.
times on
Yeah, East-West.
Right, East-West Taekwondo. And he is coached by Master Stacy Yu and Harshatam Sharma.
Nice intent here.
Right, maybe just finishing the technique at the proper spot would go a long way. So he's starting the motion really nice, just needs to finish it to the desired target area.
You know, we all have a starting and stopping point, and we need to kind of pass through that movement so we get to those positions.
And it's very
Okay.
if this is the first time you're watching,
But
all the techniques have a target. So all the kicks,
Sure.
target will be to the head. So hopefully the athletes are shooting for that. Ian receives a 5.77 for his first Poomsae. And for most of the punches, the target area is going to be the solar plexus. But there are many others, and hopefully the athletes have been meeting with their coaches and discussing, okay, what is the line for this particular technique? How do I need to complete it? How can I make sure I'm highlighting my individual strengths?
And it's a continual polishing event, as you know, Master Brand. I mean, I train every day, and I'm sure you do too, and I still can't get it right. So, you know, there's only one way for all of us to go, and that's up.
Pero.
Right, with proper instruction, there are no
Sure.
limits, right? With some support at home,
Juliet.
and then some proper instruction, and of course the
Kunye.
third thing, inner motivation, then anything is possible. 6.13 for Ian Zakarenka's second Poomsae, so nice boost for him. in that next one, I know he's probably holding his breath while he's watching this, and then it was like,
Absolutely.
that second score.
So a 5.95 then for his final. And that puts him in third.
That's great. So there's a little surreal feeling as athletes, I'm sure, are watching this event. We're so used to being at the event and finding out our score. For this one, we recorded our Poomsae a bit ago, and now we're waiting to view them.
Yeah.
With everybody else and hoping for the best. This is Moshi Liu. Nice, strong jump front kick there to start off with.
And Bob's gaze has been diverted here. He's looking this way now.
Oh, that's right. So Moshi is training in California at QE Taekwondo, also under master and coach Robert Vargas.
Head motion is very, very important for everyone to notice where the gaze goes and where the kind of eyes go. And I heard Miyako say in dance, you know, where the nose goes. That's really important for all of us. If your head stays up and you're looking, everything else will kind of underneath you will start to fit together. So nice performance from Moshi.
I think that comes with a lot of familiarity with the Poomsae and building confidence, really understanding what each technique is for. He starts off with a strong score, 6.47. So that's the second highest score in this division so far. So let's see if he can boost his score even higher, like a few of the other athletes with Taeguk Sajang.
And I really do like Taeguk Sajang. It's such a strong form.
These two side kicks side by side, very challenging for a lot of developing athletes.
He's really trying to own that back stance, and that's impressive.
Finishing strong here. He knows he's feeling really comfortable with these last 4 steps, just trying to boost his power up. Good job from Moshi Liu on technique Sajang. So his first score was a 6.47. And his second, wow. Yeah, 7.03. Good job, Moshi. His combined score is now going to pop up so we can see those two together. 6.75. So
outstanding.
If I'm correct, that moves him to second place.
Yes, ma'am.
Just under Christian Harris. And then in third place, Alexander Withar, followed by Ian Zakarenka and Aiden Jones.
경례 준비.
And Paul Sumas the Thorn is up right now. And all these red belts they're really moving toward black belt. That's their kind of primary focus here. They're trying to gain all the fundamental skills through all the Taeguk Poomsae that have all the basic motions of becoming a black belt. Nice, strong Apkubi. And again, that challenging section here.
Yeah, boosting out of that Boomsogi, that tiger stance. Very difficult for me.
Yeah, Boomsogi to Apchagi, tough.
바로 셔 퇴장.
Okay, so Paul's first score is going to be 6.8. Wow, another high score.
Nice, another high score, yeah.
Sure, everybody in Texas is really cheering loud right now. He's from SJ Lee Taekwondo in Texas, and he's coached by Master Sunjin Lee.
시작.
I'm a former Texas resident myself.
You know that. Wow, that was a nice high front kick. Look at the extension.
Look at the side kicks too.
Very confident.
He seems to really own this particular form a lot more than the other one. He seems to be very confident with this one.
Well, many of the athletes have been doing this form quite a bit longer than Paul Jung, right? So maybe they just learned Paul Jung in the last year, but they may have been doing Sajang for quite a bit longer than that. So that's pretty clear here. Look fantastic.
Look at that. Look at that. Another 703. So that 692.
0.92. Great score for Paul Sumath. I'm not saying that very well. Paul Sumathasorn, who set himself up to first place,
Sumathasorn, yeah.
followed by Christian Harris and Moshi Liu.
준비.
And Daniel Lee now takes the mat.
시작.
Daniel is from Apex Tigers team, ATMA, and he's coached by Master Giduk Gun. We've had quite a few athletes from this club, and it's wonderful that they're bringing along their red belts because we have seen primarily their black belts so far. So it's really fun to see now they're developing athletes.
And they've got some wonderful models to work with from coming out of that school.
He looks like he's having fun. He has a nice open expression, like, this is great. I'm just happy to be here. Nice high kicks. I think the next thing for Daniel might be just extending some of those stances out, maybe dropping the height a little bit, and he may see his score go up because of that.
Agreed, ma'am.
And he receives a 6.23 for his first form, but don't go anywhere. He's got Taeguk Sajang coming up.
준비. 시작.
So the side kicks were coming off there. His definitely his right side kick was nice. Left side kick a little more challenged, and now coming in on this bottom line. Yeah, definitely. You're right, Master Brand. Extending those stances, really important for him.
Yeah, he'll build his
Sure.
leg strength too while he's training his stances, and all that strength he can use for even higher kicks. But he
And a
received
6.93, a lot higher than the last one, yeah.
a very high score for his Taeguk Sanjang, and he ends up with a score of 6.58. So it's nice to get a chance to see these standings often as we're going through here. We still have
It is.
first place, followed by Christian, Moshi, and Daniel Lee. This is Nathan Jansen.
Nice.
I don't believe I've seen this club yet in Summer of Poomsae. He's from Texas, and he's with Vasquez Taekwondo Academy, again with Coach Julian Vasquez. So I think this is their first division maybe in this event, which is kind of nice to see. They have this huge training facility. It looks beautiful.
It does. We got a few extra steps here
Nice.
off of this one, and the judges will definitely penalize him a little bit for that. And a 5.1's,
for Nathan Jansen. So hopefully he'll have a higher accuracy score in the next one because he's more familiar with it, right? Taeguk Sajang just needs to maybe slow down, give himself some time to extend every stance and every hand technique.
Yeah, so there's a little pullback here in this position, slide back, which will definitely be a couple major deductions from that. But again, as he develops in time, he'll have some rhythm, and that will be able to add in there and a little bit of the tempo stuff.
Well, he has a great resource here. He can watch his division and really study it.
And there we go, a 5.12 for that. And that puts him in 7th. Good job, Nathan.
And the leaders are still Paul Samathorn, Christian Harris, and Moshi Liu.
Well, dyslexia is where it's either can be used for a couple different ways, like with reading. I have my dyslexia for reading and stuff. And so basically what it is that when I'm reading, I sometimes see things like words that are switched up or letters that are mixed up with each other and the words all funky. But then I can do dyslexia testing, which helps with that. And that's basically what my dyslexia is.
You also mentioned that you've been part of an academic community program called Classical Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to us what this Classical Conversations is?
Well, it's kind of like a public school, but it's for homeschoolers. We get together one day of the week. We go over a bunch of school, and we have homework for the rest of the week. And so we have to turn in our homework on our classes are Wednesdays. So we turn it in on Wednesdays, turn in all of our homework, and so 7th grade and up has something called a challenge, which I am in, and then 6th grade and under is called Foundations, and that's where I did my kick-a-thon. And so that is where the kids will go around and ask, we actually called it a break-a-thon. We mixed it up in the email, calling it a kick-a-thon, but it's actually called a break-a-thon, is what we called it, and it's where the kids got to break boards. But how we got to do that is the kids would go around asking funds around the neighborhoods. They got $20 from their neighbors. Then after that, they would use it to buy boards. They bought 4 boards with $20. Then they got to break the boards with Master Posey and I. And so they did that, and they got to have a fun day with breaking boards, and the profit money went to our school. and so it's for people who can't really pay for money. Really can't pay, not pay for money. Sorry, I did not mean to say that, but pay for like the end of year ceremony or dinner, or some can't even provide to pay for their school. So we use that money to help them pay for their school for families that can't, so they don't have to drop their kids off. But the main, the thing that got me into doing the Break-a-thon is we had something called a Black Belt project. And the Black Belt project is, for our Black Belt test, we will go and we either go to our school or go to our church, and we like, I chose a Break-a-thon, or you can just show a demonstration of Poomsaes and all Taekwondo and stuff. And so I chose the Break-a-thon for my school so we can raise money.
So what was your experience like competing in an online event?
Well, it wasn't as nerve-wracking because there wasn't a big crowd, but I was still pretty nervous, and I like being nervous before like my competitions and stuff, and I'm like really excited. Like I get pumped up at a competition, and when I was doing my Poomsaes, I felt a lot better with doing those Poomsaes and stuff. And I pray before every competition that I do, and just hoping that God would give me the guidance to perform well.
We're going to move on to Caleb Tomlin. And Caleb trains in North Carolina with Pure Taekwondo Center, and his coach is Master Bernard Posey.
One of our fellow AAC reps, Master Brand.
Right, it's nice to see another athlete of his in Summer of Poomsae. He has a real strong sparring background. It's great to see his athletes also enjoying Poomsae. What I noticed in an earlier division, his athletes, that they had really strong kicks. So I'm looking forward, look at that, looking forward to seeing more of Caleb here. Nice, strong, high kicking technique that we might expect from also a strong sparring athlete.
And Bernard has also participated in some Poomsae competitions in the last year or so, so that's kind of exciting too. It looks like he's training them well.
Right, I can't wait to see more from Pure. So that there was Caleb Tomlin, and he is number nine athlete in a group of 16 in this red belt semifinal. He received a nice score of 6.67 for Taeguk Paljang. We'll now move on to Taeguk Sajang.
And I don't know if everyone knows, but Master Brand is actually our chairperson for the AAC that we all serve under, those of us that are athlete reps.
So yes, it's nice to serve with you, Master Southwick. And if anybody has any questions for us at AAC, I'm more than happy to hear what's important to you and what you'd like to have us focus on.
And definitely we're excited.
Really great job. He's really trying to boost up the kicks in Taeguk Sajang. I really appreciated that effort. It was really trying to pull right from the ground and use everything that he possibly could muster to get that kick nice and high.
Let's see what the judges think about that. See if he can get that 6.67 above that position to help him. Well, 6.50, still very respectable.
Yeah, a little bit lower than that first Poomsae. And he finishes up with a 6.58, the exact same score that Daniel Lee has.
Yeah.
Look at that. So that's a tie for fourth right there. But we go by presentation, right, Master Southwick, to break that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
준비.
So this is Arnav Nair.
시작.
Arnav has quite the gaze coming forward here.
Really
and a little bit of motion.
Really taking his time on this 8 count.
It might be a little bit of video lag for us here. Has a really high front kick. So here's the tough part. And again, that's what you want to try to do in this position when you throw that kick off the Poomsae like that, is you want to try to keep your head from bouncing up and down. Very difficult challenge.
Yeah, and the referees are looking for that. If you can keep your head nice and steady, your shoulders level, belt level throughout, it really goes a long way in the presentation of the Poomsae, making you look very balanced and strong throughout each step. So is Arnav Nair from White Taekwondo, and he receives a 6.
Wow.
Very good score on that first Poomsae. Referees all agreed on his accuracy at 3.0.
That's nice when that happens.
It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, great.
Nice aggressive start.
Nice high kick. Oh,
Oh, that last, yeah, that right leg side kick was beautiful. Foot position, outstanding. I mean, the quality of Poomsae has just risen so high in the United States in the last decade. Master Brand, I know you can remember back then.
Yeah, our first World Championship was in 2006 in Korea, and since that time, it's just been an explosion of Poomsae fun. Everybody trying to get up to the standard at the beginning for what the Poomsae should
Wow.
be. Wow, look at that score, 7.1 for Arnav Nair, combined with that 6.8 for his first Poomsae.
Yeah, so 695er, yeah.
That's
a fantastic
score, and that will lose him into first place. Look at that with a little gap there. He's followed by Paul at Christian and Moshe in the second, third, and fourth place positions. And we're now up to athlete number 11, Owen Jones, in this division of 16 male red belts in the semifinal. So their final round will be on a future episode of Summer of Poomsae. So you check the check the Facebook and other postings to see what the schedule will be for that.
Little step back there, so that's going to definitely cost him a little bit. Now, I know, Master Brand, you and I have pretty much served together on the team since 2008 was the first time that you and I were together on the team in Turkey.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to be a member of the team from 2007 to 11, and then served as a coach almost the entire time since then. And then you have been on the team many times. Oh, Owen Jones receives a 5.0.
5.0. Yeah, so you and I have gone around the world there and done some Poomsae everywhere.
Seen many a Poomsae. But you know what we haven't seen a lot of, at least at this level, are the lower belts. So it's really fun to watch them, see what they're concentrating on, what they're focusing on. For Owen, we need to make sure that he just reviews the Poomsae step by step. I think he has a couple extra movements here and there on the Poomsae, so he just needs to eliminate those, kind of cut those out entirely, and just focus on the ones that need to be there. Second Poomsae scored higher than the first, so he ended up with a 5.23. Now let's see where he lands. Pretty good, 9th so far. So in this division, we're going to be taking the top 8. The top 8 will move on to the to the final round. And that's true of every division. Well, here's a worldly fellow.
Hey!
Ollie Vanneman. This is great. I love this view of him at home. Found some space there. It's wonderful to see so many athletes in all different kinds of training spaces and places.
And he's got some someone looking on over there off to the right side of our screen here. I'm not sure if that's a bear or an abominable snowman. A Yeti, maybe? Look off to the right on the couch there.
Oh, okay. I think something obscure.
Hey!
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a nice friend to have.
So Oli definitely wants to work on his stances a little bit, and as Master Brand was bringing out, target appropriate sections so that he's punching and blocking to specific spots. But they'll give him a 4-1-3 for his first form.
And he may be able to boost it on this next one because certainly he's known this one a little bit longer.
Yeah, already out of the gate here, he's a lot stronger at this particular form. And I know it's a strange thing, but on the screen over here on the wall, he's got a sticker that says, "I love eels." It makes me wonder about a lot of things here. I like them too, my friend.
I like them too,
Hey!
my sushi. So
That's right.
I love all the maps he has. He's got a huge map behind and then two
Great space.
right hand shoulder. So he receives a 4.8 for the second Poomsae. Good job on boosting that score, Ollie. That's always really fun when you're watching and see that second score come up even higher than the first. He gets a 4.47 and an opportunity to watch other athletes perform as well. So in first we have Arnav Nair, followed by Paul Samathorn and Christian Harrison, third place. So this is going to be our 13th athlete. This is Gabriel Ledgerwood. And it looks like he's also at first coached by Master Seth Wilson.
Seth Wilson and I serve on the board together. So it's kind of nice to see the students out there. I'll definitely be giving him a call after this.
Yeah, he's been a real advocate for Taekwondo growth over the years. Served on many committees and has done his best to help grow the sport through the years. It's fun to see his athletes out there.
Absolutely, since he's really now just kind of getting again, and I think he's really going to be doing a great job. These are going to be some real future players.
Right, again, so this is Gabriel Ledgerwood from Versus Sport Taekwondo. And he receives a 4.93. So we do have a few scores here in the fours, but we're going all the way up to the high sixes, with our highest score being 6.92. So it's pretty exciting to see if Gabriel can boost his score here with David Stadja. We need to make sure we're keeping our eyes focused on the target ahead. Every now and then he turns it a little bit, or he dips.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a quick, easy fix, I think. That's something that he can do to boost his score probably in the next month or so. Maybe go through all the troops and eliminate that. We can start building up from his stances as well. So that's Gabriel Ledgerwood. His first score was 4.93. And his second Poomsae, a 4.83. So just a smidgen lower. He's going to end up with a 4.88. And this puts Gabriel into 11th place. And again, we're going to take the top 8 of this semifinal round into the final round on a future episode of Summer of Poomsae.
Next up will be Lucas Tan. And a nice framed picture again, right down the hallway. Looks like it's possibly in the living room.
Which is great. Thanks, parents, for letting him train in the house. Probably a lot of furniture had to get moved for a bit in order for him to record himself. Maybe even practice for a bit before he did that. So thanks for letting him do that. Looks like he's really trying to get deep into this stance, nice and low.
Yeah, Lucas is putting on a good show here. Presence is really important. You've heard the commentators talk about this throughout the whole time, Summer of Poomsae, but the presence, that's a really kind of intangible thing that it's hard to train for. You have to kind of develop it and somehow express it. It's the hard part.
Right, as the athletes get more experience and more seasoning, wow, look at Lucas 10, 7.2.
Nice score.
Huge score. in this Cadet Male Red semifinal round. This is exciting. Can't wait to see what he does here. So he's dropping nice and low.
Nice and aggressive.
And look, he's really pushing out those stances, even more so than he did in the first Poomsae, which is wonderful to see because I never had this experience, Master Southwick, but probably you did. He probably grew a lot and maybe quickly and had to shift around as an athlete to find your balance again. So that's something that all of these athletes have to contend with as they're growing quickly through adolescence.
Now, I didn't really get started till I was about 15, so I didn't really experience this either, but I see it a lot when the young ones. But that was a great performance, and I think he's going to get a really good score here.
Wow.
And there it is. That is the highest score we've had
I think
today.
it moves him easily. I may be wrong, but I think he might be in first place here.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Yep.
number 1, Lucas Tan, followed by Arnav Nair and Paul Smith-Sorn. And again, looking for those top 8 spots. If you're in the top 8, you get to move forward to the finals.
Well, he secured his place there.
Right, be hard to beat, for sure. Actually impossible. This is Hari Amin.
Oh, no, Ari's coming out looking pretty sharp here.
Yeah.
So when Hari at the top of this line, this is called a part mountain shape or half mountain shape. And watch his hand come straight up. Now that's a little bend in that one right there, but his first one was really hitting the mark. It's one of the better ones I've seen today. So this is a pretty strong form for him.
Right, he's coached by Master Kwanjin Pa.
Ah, there we go. That's why. KJ.
Nice, strong performance all the way through.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I think we're going to see a really good score on this one. And there it is.
Right. Hari Amin receives a first Poomsae score of 7.2. So this is fun. Our high score so far is from Lucas Tan, who received a 7.15. So we'll see if Hari can just get just a little bit higher to boost himself to first. That was a great front kick, and his side kick extension, super high. Now, we can't quite see all of the beauty of the techniques when they're, coming right at the camera, but I'd really love to see him maybe do another performance, and all the other boys too in this division, but maybe take a Bojang where we can
Oh, yeah.
that nice high side kick.
Okay, that's a solid performance there too, and I think he's going to be giving Mr. Tan some heat here.
Oh
Yeah. So 7.37, and that's definitely going to boost him above into a 7.28. So he will take the lead in this position. Really nice performance. Wow, they're kind of saving the best for last year.
Right, so we have Hari Amin in first place, followed by Lucas Tan and Arnav Nair. And we have just one last competitor here who also has a chance to boost himself into first place. This is Noah Mastrulo.
So a little late on the head turn there, and there's that part mountain shape block again. And you'll see as it comes up here, one of the challenging ones, a little low on his hand.
Yeah, we want to get that wrist line up to about maybe the philtrum height. So, and then those punches, but we should be targeted to the to the solar plexus. Right now they're just a bit high, coming in at around the shoulders. It just needs to drop that down a bit in order to save himself from the deductions there.
Yeah.
He's just a little high. Every time we have that high punch, we risk getting a 0.1 deduction. So you got to be really careful about that because there are just so many punches across the Poomsae. So those little definitely add up. We ended up with a 3.87, and that was really a matter of the accuracy score. His presentation was pretty good.
That's the fight. The accuracy, we have to get that down, and then we can start to work on that presentation, and then we put those two elements together and we give a solid performance. A little bit of a stall here.
nice to see him recover at that point.
And that's definitely the right thing to do. All of us have had that little glitch in our mind at one point, but we've got to move on when we do it. And then you take the deduction for the miss, but you won't get any more if you continue.
And Noah had a couple of issues with looking in the correct direction. So I think maybe to sit down with his coach, his master instructor, and work those little details out. He ended up with a 4.33 and then a total score of 4.1. So we did have quite a few athletes in the 4 and 5 range, but the winners here, first, second, and third, are in the 7s and high 9s. Hari Amin in first, followed by Lucas 10 and Arnav Nair. And we're taking the top 8 from this semifinal round into the finals on a future episode of Summer of Poomsae.
Hello, how are you? This is Grandmaster Park, James Park, and I'm from Mesquite, Texas. And I was supposed to go to World Poomsae Championship as under 65 years old male division. And when I went to Grand Slam and I became 61 years old, I was the youngest Poomsae competitors. So it's not fair to older masters. I would feel very sorry, but I did great and I had the feeling great, and I was first place. And I couldn't go to Denmark for World Championship. And one of my friend, Master Tweety, told me we cannot go to World Championship in Denmark. And I was very upset. And most competitors, they said they are disappointed on Facebook. But we cannot change anything. But I feel it's a great chance to practice more, then we can better performance. I was upset a little bit about 5 days and start to practice again. And I go to camping on the weekend, you know, we cannot meet each other, social distance, all of those hard things. But I'm positive person, and as a taekwondo spirit, 백절 불굴, that calls I forgot the word in English. Anyway, never give up and until achieve the goal. Also, our studio goal is winners never quit, quitters never win. So I continue practice until become better and better. And that's all what I want to say there. Okay, this is a special case of the practice method. So we cannot go to close each other. We have a social distance. All of those things we have required. But still, I practice with my friends and with in the nature, like a social distance, and watch each other, our forms and Poomsaes. And I made the video and sent it to my friend, and I are also there's good coaches some of in Korea, some of here, and champions. And I ask them question, how do I look in the video of my Poomsaes? Then they tell me what to do, and what they told me, fix this, fix that. All right, I have some issue speaking in English. If I can speak Korean, I can be better. But I think you should understand, Taekwondo is action philosophy. Quitters never win, winners never quit. So I think continuous practice with happy, and I'm very happy to interview this. Everybody see you on the competition in the ring soon, hopefully. Thank you.
And the Cadet Male Black Belt semifinals is ready to begin with our first competitor, Caden Ho. He's from Briargate Taekwondo in Colorado. And he's at a USTC center typically, but he's training out of his home right now and performing there.
And of course, it looks like Ojang. So you had brought that up before, that we get to see the nice side profile Yupchagi.
I'm really looking forward to this division sidekicks here. We'll be able to see him in a nice, clean profile view coming up right after this line here. So he's going to turn and do his first right sidekick. So we're going to see a lot of extension from the athletes in this division, really trying to reach up as far as they can. That's what looks like what Caden Ho had in mind as he pushed his way through the sidekicks and the rest of Taeguk Ojang.
And this is going to be a very exciting division. The cadet division is just full of talent. And a 5.33 for Caden on his first Poomsae.
Good job to Caden for getting us off on a strong start. And he's going to start at his second Poomsae. All the athletes in this division will do 2 Poomsae each. Second one is Taeguk Sajang. And we also have really nice high kicking technique in this Poomsae. We don't get quite the same view, but we do get to see them reaching up as far as they can. The front kicks, though, we get to see from the profile view, which is always fun to do, to see how much they're chambering, extending, what that foot position looks like, and what the recovery is doing.
And I do like that side kick in this one straight toward us. It is different, but we can see the body alignment then, which is really important for a really good Yupchak.
After scoring with a 5.33 for Taeguk Ojang, Caden Ho receives a 5.4, just a bit over, so that's fun. 5.4 for Taeguk Sajang. His combined score will come up next, as it will for all the athletes, at 5.37. We're off to a good start here in the Cadet Male Black semifinal round. These athletes competing in this division, we have a total of 33, and we're looking for the top 8 to go into the final round in an upcoming Summer of Poomsae episode. This is Talal Khan, and he trains at World Taekwondo in Minnesota. See here a different camera angle. So this Poomsae for him looks pretty strong to start off.
Had a great opportunity to come out and work with this particular group of athletes, and they are a great group of kids. And Master Hoth has become a very good friend.
So this is Talal Khan, and his first Poomsae score for Taeguk Ojang is 5.77.
So I think that camera angle, I've noticed that from here, we've talked about it a lot, all of us that have been doing the commentary, especially here, is it might be a little low.
Right, so the best position, of course, is going to be where the referees would normally aim from. So maybe around the midsection would be a good height. And that's an easy fix, right?
It is, but those were some really good side kicks, though. Again, a lot more comfort on this form here.
Right, it looks like he's defining his movement pretty clean on Taeguk Sajang, especially the hand technique. So he knew exactly where to have those begin and end. So that was Talal Khan, and his second Poomsae score is higher than the first, 5.93. So he moves from 5.77 to 5.93 on the second one, for a combined score of 5.85.
And that'll put him into first. That's always a good feeling, isn't it? Early in the round, you feel so good. You see yourself number 1 on the leaderboard there.
This is Alvin Chang from Just Taekwondo in Southern California, coached by Master Jester Wong, a long-time national Poomsae team member and gold medalist.
Yes, Justin and I were roommates when we were at the Egypt World Championships, both as athletes, and I really got to know him, and he's another great individual.
Yeah, 2009, I believe. For
yes, ma'am.
Championship. We went to quite a few places, Korea, Turkey, if you recall, Egypt,
Uzbekistan,
Russia, and
we were,
Indonesia and Colombia,
Peru,
Taipei and Mexico. A lot of fun.
That was a nice form.
Yeah, nice strong finish on that. Last position there is back fist. Again, this is Alvin Chang, and he receives a score of 5.87. A nice solid score.
Definitely.
자료 준비.
And we are seeing a lot of Sajong
시작.
today, aren't we?
Yeah, great opportunity for everybody to analyze, maybe put side by side with your own video and see where the high scores are comparing next to yours. So really trying to finish his recovery in a strong, balanced position. And at about this point, everybody's feeling pretty great, trying to finish with that nice first power on those last four steps.
바로
You got to be careful not to rush it. You always want to savor your time out on the mat, and we all try to hurry up at the end
자료.
because we want to get done. But
kenny.
you want to savor that moment.
And he receives a 5.47, just a bit lower than the first one at 5.87. So his combined score is coming in now. And that looks like a 5.67 for Alvin Chang.
So he'll be second coming into this
Right.
for now.
준비.
Here we have Andrew Lee. He's from Sky Martial Arts
시작.
and Team M. And he's in California here in the Bay Area at Sky Martial Arts.
And you guys are having a heat wave, huh?
Well, I'm not sure about the exact weather at our broadcast, but we've had high temperatures here, 112 in Sacramento, and all over the state. Unusually high, extraordinary heat. Nice strong finish for Andrew Lee.
저.
And it's
6-1.
0.1. So although we're not able to train indoors together, looks like he was able to find some time to get in his dojang and do a quick recording.
시작.
Yeah, the adaptation of all the Poomsae athletes worldwide has been phenomenal. They have really embraced this online competition. And those side kicks are nice line position. Hip, shoulder, head.
It's nice when you can see the front kick over their head when they're kicking to the rear. Make sure we see that foot in a nice, high, strong position.
바로
Again, this is
Today.
Andrew Lee scored a 6.1
Junior.
on his first Poomsae.
Today.
And another 6.1.
Another 6-1.
So easy to do the final score calculation.
Yes, ma'am.
5.1 for Andrew Lee. And it should be putting him, oh, we didn't quite see the standings there, but that should have put him into first place.
시작.
Yes, ma'am. And this is Dylan Kim.
Yeah, and he trains at Taekwondo Kids, and he also trains at Team M. He's coached by his master instructor, Chin Sonu, and also coaches Master Hui On and Long Wen.
And the famous garage today. This is a solid performance.
Right, nice high. Good stretch, nice, wonderful extension on those side kicks. And the front kicks as well.
Yeah, that's going to score really well today.
저.
And a 6.33. So that's impressive.
That's the highest score we've seen so far. And again, we have 33 athletes in the semifinal round. We're looking for the top 8 to move on to the final round, upcoming episode of Summer of Poomsae. Really taking his time, making sure he has a clean finish before moving on to the next technique.
Yeah, that front kick is beautiful. Nice extension of the arms there too.
바로
Yeah, I think this is going to bring him up
쇼. Cadet Junior.
He's going to be pushing that first position.
After the first Poomsae sure was, and here we go, 6 points.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily into first place for Dylan Kim. So, oh, I'm sorry, 6.38. So
6.38 for the final, yeah.
right. So it looks like with so many competitors, it's going to be a real race in this division. Right now, Dylan Kim was our fifth competitor. Moving on to Jarton Johnson Ho. He trains at HK Taekwondo and Texas Forge, and his master instructor is Hyun Kim, coached by AJ. I remember him always trying to push really high with his front kicks in the preliminary round, and trying that same thing here in this semifinal round.
Again, maybe a little more control, but he's with the long legs, he's got such good extension.
He's really trying to reach up, maybe just a little bit more retraction to kind of hold him in place so he's not swinging the leg up. So 6.03 for the first Poomsae.
준비. 시작.
A nice strong opening on the spear hand.
Nice high kicks here. I think this one is a bit stronger and more confident than the first Poomsae.
I agree.
He's giving himself plenty of time to finish each Poomsae. No need to rush.
그래? 그래.
So for Jarton Newton Ho, he received for the second Poomsae technicalities on the score 6.07, a little bit higher than the first one where he received a 6.03. So he'll come in at 6.05 for his final Poomsae score and moves into third place behind Dylan Kim and Andrew Lee. So you want to make it into first place, you got to shoot higher than Dylan Kim's 6.38, at least for now. Up next, we have Isaiah Morales Hill. He's from Nevada. He trains at Spirit Taekwondo with his coach, Master Yasmin Brown.
시작.
I don't know
Nice
if
clip.
the sleeves are rolled up or he has.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit short, and that's really important for everyone. You want to make sure that the uniform fits properly so that there's no deduction. That's one of those deductions you don't want to have to take, or you shouldn't take. But maybe he grew a lot.
Pro.
Or maybe they're just rolled up. It's hard to tell. We do want to see the wrist, right, when we extend a punch. We want to see that, but not the whole forearm. He receives a 5.67 for his first Poomsae.
And that may reflect that, actually, because the performance that he was doing, he had good technique.
Wow, that is
Because look at that side kick extension.
his side kicks are actually higher than
they are beautiful.
That is unusual.
Again, solid performance.
Good job to Isaiah Morales Hill. He received a 5.67. I'm sure everybody in Nevada is cheering for him and hoping he's going to get a higher score for this second Poomsae. Just a little bit lower here, 5.4 for Isaiah, but still big reason to cheer. Looks like he really put a lot of effort into it. He receives a combined score of 5.53. So that's somewhere around the fourth place position, I think.
Yeah.
준비
This is Isaiah Galvez, and he's also coming out of Texas from Texas Forge. Hyun Kim and AJ Munoz. So we've seen a lot of people coming out of this program. And here comes our sidekick view. Each form kind of has its own distinguishing features, wouldn't you say, Master Brand? That really kind of the signature move, we could call it.
Yeah, they sure do. We're all waiting for the big
Sure.
whatever the Poomsae happens to be. We know it's like a full event.
We know it's coming.
Yeah.
And a 5.80 for that first form. So the accuracy was down a little bit. On that.
This one, of course, everybody's waiting for the high side kicks. The line moving forward, right toward where the referees would be. So we get the same view that the center referee would probably have if we were in a face-to-face tournament.
Little extra motion there on the kicks. Turning is nice.
바로 슛 공예.
Let's see what the judges go here with a 5.70, a little bit less. But that will combine to a 5.75. And again, right in that mid area. And now Jaden Lee, who is from Kim's K Taekwondo, and Sungjin Kim is his instructor. We've seen several athletes coming out of this. Nice extension.
A nice aggressive start. So he's picking a little quicker pace and really trying to punch it.
And that line coming up is important because you really want to distinguish the back fist with the middle block. They're not at the same height. Back fist to the philtrum and then middle block below the shoulder. Here's a side kick, first one. Sometimes when I'm doing commentary, I feel like I'm watching golf, you know, when they're talking about a technique and you can kind of be soft and talk about it.
Sure.
That's going to be a 6.37, which is a pretty good score there. That's the highest score we've had
준비.
so far on that first form.
자.
It's always fun to experiment with different speeds, right? And try to also make sure we don't forget the element of putting in that contrast from slow to fast finish. So it's just how quick do we want to go and how much contrast can we conjure up. So that looks like what he's trying to do here is Jaden Lee in his Poomsae is really trying to experiment with a different speed here, going a little bit more aggressive than some of the other competitors in the division.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's hard to do this on video because you don't get to get that feeling and watch the other competitors and see how the judges are going. So a little bit lower, 6.03. So that's still going to put him in a really good position here.
You got that 6.37, the first one, so he's still in good shape with the 6.2. Yeah.
I believe that's about second place right now, isn't it, ma'am?
Like second place, just behind Dylan Kim.
And now we've got Alfred Lopez Salas and another Texas Forge competitor. Again, nice height control here. Beautiful extension on the side kicks.
I really admire when they really try to punch that up as high as they can. The question is how much risk, right? How much risk are you willing to take?
Always.
Are you going to shoot for the moon, or are you going to be more conservative and know where it's very comfortable to kick?
6.2. Good score coming off the first form.
In the semifinal round at a normal event, we'd be really trying to push it, get into that final round. So go for it.
Yes, ma'am. Get good movement here. And that's going to be a good finish.
Right. We had Jaden Lee with a combined score of 6.2, and Alfred received a 6.2 for his first form. So let's see where he lands here at 6.13, just a little lower. So his combined score is going to fall just under Jaden, which of course was just under Dylan Kim. So he's got a 6.17. So I believe that's just about fourth place.
준비.
This is Yuri Rogachev from Illinois from Flying V. We've seen some of Vincent's people here before. Beautiful high front kick.
Yeah, that's what I noticed his first round, preliminary round. Nice high front kicks, almost unexpected. Like from his frame, I was really surprised. You know, we sometimes look at athletes and we have one expectation, right, of their body type, and then he just really pushes out as high as he can with every single kick, higher than one might think he could.
Yeah, and it makes him look really tall when he does that because his leg seems to grow like 2 feet.
See, on that last kick, he looked like the man on that one. That was super cool. Just a little bit of some X-Men qualities there with that elastic leg on that last kick. 6.
That's right.
6.0 for that first Poomsae. Off to a good start for Yuri Rogachev.
차렷. 준비. 시작.
It is nice to be surprised. I mean, sometimes you see these kids and, you know, a little bit of judging a book by its cover, but when they express themselves and they perform all the hard work that they've done, it's inspiring. And we've seen that grow at the World Championships too, Mr. Brand. Remember, we didn't have cadets for a long time, and when that division came in, it's a superstar event.
And we also saw that with the inclusion of the Master 3 and the Master 4 divisions after a bit of time.
Yeah, even more amazing.
Right, on so both ends of the spectrum there, we were able to see all these really talented athletes come about in Cadet and Junior, and then also Master 3 and Master 4 divisions.
And another 6.0, so another easy math for us here. We can say that he's going to come out with a 6.0, then for the final will be that.
Oh. So soon we'll see the standings on the board here. Make sure that everybody's math is panning out.
Yeah. Now we've got Bryce Roth and from Kukiwon Taekwondo, Young Kim is the coach. And I think Miyako was making a point the last show. If the hair moves like this in that position, that's kind of an extra points. He's got great hair as he makes the turn.
Oh, nice extension there. I want to make sure it's aligned, that everything is, you know, from the head through the shoulders, knees, and foot all aligned, as well as the hip. First, and go ahead and boosting that out like you just did. That's kind of fun to watch.
It is. And a 6.0. So very similar to our last competitor as far as score exactly.
Right, and Bryce is the 12th competitor in a group of 33. So out of these 33, we're looking for the top 8 to move on to the final round of Summer of Poomsae. That will be on a future episode, so something to really look forward to. Time to celebrate tonight and then get everybody together, family and friends, let them all know it's going to be happening. They can all join you from their remote locations and join in the fun.
I've certainly been enjoying it. It's been great. You know, I finish eating dinner, get ready to go, and just pop down and watch Summer of Poomsae. It's been one of my favorite things. It's a whole new thing for us. Okay, let's see what we got here. 627. So definitely an increase in that.
Yeah, that's a huge jump over 0.27.
Yeah, 613 then.
So he's in good position in this pack so far. Yeah, it sure has been exciting to watch the event on TV and share it with others too and say, hey, this is something that we've never had before. Let's go ahead and tell all our family and friends and coworkers and mailmen and
absolutely.
Check this out. You're really going to enjoy the fun.
준비.
And this is going to be Sean Park and from Georgia in Kim's K Taekwondo, Sungjin Kim. Look at that extension on that Apkubi.
Right.
He's
so
pushing.
Right
he was pushing it.
Chasing our first place competitor, Dylan Kim. Really nice, long, extended stances in the first part of the Poomsae. That's really fun to see.
It is.
When you see those long, extended stances, that's hard work right there. Hard work. Visible.
Yeah, he's pushing it.
Done.
번호.
Outstanding. So let's see where this places him. 610. So in a live event now, coach, you have your athlete. They performed that first form. You get them in between, and you know you can play a little tactical game there. Video Poomsae is all strategic. You give them to them all at once. You play one way. You can't change how you're going to perform. And I think that's one of the big challenges of this that we're all going to be learning and adapting to.
It sure is. We're used to adjusting, not just from Poomsae to Poomsae, but more importantly from round to round, from the preliminary round to the semi, then to the final. We get kind of a feel of the event and how the scores are coming up, and we make all these very small adjustments until we know that we or our athletes are prepared for the next round. So here's 0.07 for that second Poomsae after his first one is 6.1. So Sean Park, his combined score is at 6.08. So that, you're right, is really different with the online event where we can't make those adjustments from the prelim to the semifinal to the final.
Yeah. So Dan Hugh Kim is up now. Again, another Georgia athlete, Kim's K Taekwondo, Sungjin Kim. It's also nice to compete with teammates. I found always. I have that joy to being able to compete with like Master Turgeon and Master Cooley. And here it looks like Dan Hugh gets to compete with a lot of people from his school in the same division.
Yeah, it looks like they have plenty of support at his club. A lot of active young Poomsae athletes here at this site. So that's a lot of fun. Master Southwick, how many years were you on the team along with Coach Turgeon and then, of course, Master Guard Cooley?
Let's see, 597 is his score, first round. That's good. We were from 2008 to 2011. We were the second team members, second male team. And then, of course, you know, as you know, I worked as a coach as well for several years and got to travel with everyone. So we've all kind of been working in that group for a long time, well over a decade. I'm waiting for them to have a master. I want them to have a team 3, you know, 50 and up. 50 and up would be amazing.
This is Don Kim finishing up on Taeguk Southwick.
Follow. 차렷. 경례.
Again, solid performance. And a 610, so he increases his score in that second form. And that'll put him just a little over 6 here.
And it looks like we're having a lot of athletes right around this 603, 6.1 range. So it's going to be interesting to see where the cutoff is.
And we're back here, USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae. I'm Jason Poos, your host, with Anderson Nix from Scottsdale, Arizona. How you doing this afternoon, Anderson?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Let's kind of talk a little bit about our USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae, a virtual competition. Have you ever done one of these before?
No, this is my first one.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, USA Taekwondo kind of coming up with a different format than we've seen. Could you take us through how you made your Poomsae? You had to do things differently to get this done. How did it go for you and what'd you do?
So we filmed at my dojang, and our coach Megan Yi came down and helped us train for 2 days, and then we filmed on that Wednesday. And so we only got 2 tries because we didn't have that much time.
Okay.
So I only got to do 2 takes. Other than that, it was just pretty normal. We filmed. I went home and doubted myself. I was gonna do well. So other than that, it was pretty normal.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but 2 takes, that's impressive. That's not easy to do for sure. I know that based on some of our experience with other competitors. So fantastic. You train, your main hobby is Taekwondo. So how many hours a week in a normal non-COVID type environment? Maybe you're this time last year or maybe even in the winter prior to kind of the shutdowns, if you will. How many hours a week do you train in Taekwondo?
I usually train, I would say, maybe 18 hours a week.
Yeah, that's a full load for sure. How about other parts of Taekwondo? Do you just do Poomsae, or do you some sparring? Do you do some demo team weapons? Do you do anything like that?
No, I just do Poomsae. I did do pairs with my sister this year, but because she's just entering cadet, I can't do it with her next year.
Right.
So now that COVID's hit, it was kind of a lame year.
Yes, that's a perfect way of putting it, because so far 2020 has been every bit of a lame year.
Yeah.
I could not agree more, Anderson. Well, Anderson, first, good luck in the up and coming Summer of Poomsae. We know you're going to have a successful competition, and we appreciate you joining us here on Chopping It Up with Jason. And let's say Jason and Anderson here instead of Jason and Sherman, because that's what we're doing. And I look forward to seeing you at one of our live competitions down the road. You heard it. This is Anderson Nix from Scottsdale, Arizona, here on USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae.
Bye. Thank you.
Now Anderson Nix.
Yeah, and Anderson is the 15th athlete in this division. We have 33 altogether. He's number 15, and he's from Arizona Pride. He's coached by Master Ruben Lawley and Megan Yee, former National Poomsae team member, who did very well in international competition.
Yeah, definitely shout out to the Megatron. Look at that extension. You can.
Very well-disciplined Poomsae athlete, really trying to recover every single step with balance, meaning whether it's a kick or it's hand technique, at the finish of that, he seems to have very good balance, or at least he's pushing in that direction. So his score comes in at 5.9.
And coaching really matters. I remember years ago in the early days of Poomsae, people kind of looked at us and thought, a coach with Poomsae, that doesn't seem to make sense, but it really can make a difference, don't you think, Master Brad?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, just like sparring is, right? Our athletes need to be reminded of the small details and be put into the mode of really going out there and doing their best. And giving them some key points right at the end, right before they go out there, seems to matter a great deal, whether it's a local tournament or an international tournament.
Oh!
That was a nice, solid Taegu Sajang by Anderson Nix. He received a 5.9 for his first Poomsae. And so his second Poomsae, he received a 5.87. So he's going to be right in there, just under the 6, right under the score of 6, where we have a lot of athletes. So he's at the 5.88 level right now. So he's in good company in those 5s. Our first 3 competitors had 5s as well, and then a couple of 6s, and then back down to the 5s we were again. This is Michael Cho from Eagle Taekwondo, and he's coached by Master Jung Jin. We've had quite a few athletes from Eagle Taekwondo compete in Summer of Poomsae.
And they are a very strong group. Master Jin, one of our national coaches also. I had to compete against Master Jin once.
I remember that, but I can't tell you the exact year.
You know what? I don't know if I can either. I just remember I got second. And I felt good, and I felt real good about it. Let's just put it that way. I was proud to be standing next to him.
That's Michael Cho, and he comes in with a huge score, 6.57. So he's chasing Dylan Kim at this point. So he's in a good position. So let's see where he ends up. Dylan Kim, of course, has a 6.38. Nice high front kicks, followed up by 2 strong side kicks. This is a difficult Poomsae. We have front kicks where you have to land in back stances, and side kicks where you have to land in either a walking stance or a back stance. So it's challenging because it's quite a bit different than our foundational Poomsae, take it 1 through 3.
As I said, that this is really a threshold Poomsae I always considered.
Michael received a 6.4, so lower than his first score, 6.57, but still a nice, strong, high score, finishing up with 4.8. Look at that. So I think that boosts him into first place.
That puts him into first place. Yes, ma'am.
So that's fun. We have a Samarth Fossum here. He's a world champion Taekwondo, Fairfield, I believe, and his coach is Master Gunsu Kim and, of course, KJ Ha, Kwanjin Ha.
Sometimes I can see the athletes, I can tell who coaches them. I don't know if you've noticed that too. Some of the technique, the way they move and their presence, it's wonderful.
Right. Many of our coaches have a specific style that they like to encourage their athletes to use. It's definitely viewable here with Smart Basant, one of Gunsu Kim and KJ Ha's athletes. For that form, he receives a 5.73. And sometimes we see just the beginning of that at this level, right, with the cadets. And as they mature, move into the junior division and then the senior division, that's where we see it all blossom even more. They're off to a good start, though. I don't want to minimize where they are right now by any means. These are strong athletes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely they pick up the techniques from their coaches, but then you see their own personal expression come through, and that's when the magic happens. I never get tired of watching this. I'm just fascinated by this all the time.
And that is Summer of Poomsae from World Champion Taekwondo in Connecticut. And his first score is 5.73, and he gets a much higher score here. Good job. The 6.1 for Taeguk Sajang. Well, that's got to feel great when you get that second score coming in higher. He receives a 5.92.
Again, that fight to get into the finals is really, it's tough in this division.
Yeah, it really is going to be tough here. We have many of the scores right next to each other, maybe soon right on top of each other. This is Evan Young from Just Taekwondo in California, coached by Master Justin Wong. And he had a teammate in this same division here, Alvin Chang, who is our third competitor, and he received a 5.67. So we'll see if his teammate here can get about the same or maybe even a little bit higher.
Absolutely. Good teammates always push you to do better, and you push them.
Looks like he's been spending some time on that side kick, and he's very well aligned and nice height on it.
바로 자료 기니 쇼
5.83 to start off. So we see how he does on the second Poomsae. You know, the athletes might have recorded their Poomsae several times, Master Southwick, right? So it's challenging to keep that energy level up, that stamina up. And you were also competing in Summer of Poomsae in the Master 2 division. So did you find yourself trying to practice a lot before you started recording, or did you just go for it, record right away?
Be honest, I hadn't been on the mat for a while. I've been practicing a lot, but I didn't get a lot of mat time because my dojang is closed. I can't get in. So I did film the first one like 2 or 3 times, and then on the final, I just said, nope, I'm doing it in one shot, and I did it.
Wow, that's great. You're in a parking structure, right?
Yes, ma'am. We set up mats in a parking structure, and it was 90 degrees.
We have so many different training spaces, training places. So fun to watch everybody compete in different places. So he received a 5.83. Again, that's Evan Young. And his final score there coming up, 5.83. Here's our leaderboard now. We have Michael Cho in first, followed by Dylan Kim, Jaden Lee, and Alfred Lopez Salas in fourth.
And there's still a lot to come.
Evan Young in 14. So we're looking for the top 50%. I mean, sorry. Whoa, that was really wrong. Top 8.
Yeah, top 8 today.
Moving on. For a moment, I did a flashback to the preliminary round. So we're actually looking for the top 8 to go into the finals.
Here's Jacob Varney. I actually got a little story about Jacob here. One of the great things that I get to do as a athlete rep, Master Brand, is at tournaments, meet athletes and their parents. And I had a great experience with Jacob and his father. Jason Poos came up to me and said, hey, someone's got some questions, and can you answer? And I got to meet this young athlete and talked to him and his father for a while, and really good athlete. And that was a good performance. I think we're going to get to see some good sidekicks.
Sure. Yeah, he's training there in Florida, and he trains with Master Angelito Ong at Ong's Taekwondo. We saw quite a few adult athletes also competing from this space. He receives a 5.83. So it's nice to see he has a very diverse group of athletes at his club that he can train along with.
Oh, and a great place to train too. Very, very lucky for him to be there. Yeah, great extension. Yeah, he's a really good side kicker.
Yeah, he has his weight just in the right place to highlight that kick.
Yeah, the main thing here is just perseverance. I mean, if you love the sport, you stay in it and you keep practicing, and you'll get where you need to go eventually.
So So after a 5.83 in his first Poomsae, he received a slightly higher score here, 5.87 for Taeguk Sajang. And ends up with about a 5.85. I think that's in or near around 13 spot.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
This is Ryan Sitaram. His father also competed from the same space.
And I loved that.
Yeah, it looks like an optical illusion that it's a small space, but actually they're both able to manage all their Poomsae quite nicely in this, looks like a 3-mat space going from side to side.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I mean, they got right up to the wall, even like right here, you know, he's getting close. And that pole, I was always scared of that pole, but they know how to manage their space. Situational awareness.
Sure.
Mark.
So Ryan is training in Virginia, high kick taekwondo, and he is training with Master Brian So. Receives a 5.8, so that's a popular score of late after having gotten a 5.83 and a 5.85 from our last two competitors. He did really well with those high kicks in the preliminary round. Look at those.
That was perfect alignment.
Yeah, and he has his long legs and a torso that's a little bit on the shorter side. So that works out perfectly for a long-legged athlete to really make those kicks shine.
And how great to train with your family, with your dad, you know, and compete at the same in the same event. My daughter doesn't do martial arts.
Yeah, we received a 5.8 for that first Poomsae and then a 6.1 on the second to give him a combined score of 5.95.
Nice score.
Next we have Timothy So. And Timothy's from New York. He trains at Team Agape with Coach John Raw.
Again, I do love this dojang space.
Beautiful. Nice and open. Easy view for us watching at home for sure.
Some nice calligraphy on the wall. It says Moodle.
Nice strong finish to take a Kojang for Timothy So. So let's see how his score comes in. We've had quite a few high fives lately, so I'm not sure if it was high enough to boost them up. There's another one, 5.87. Sometimes that happens in a division where we'll see quite a few scores right next to each other, got the same, right at about the same number.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, so these divisions are so large. You know, what really makes the difference between one competitor to another after these judges see it? It's such a combination. I mean, how do you coach students like that, Master Brand?
Well, I'll tell you, the hard part is really from the judge's point of view. How is their memory able to really hold on to all the different athletes' skill levels as they're going through the Poomsae, right? I mean, they're really a diligent group. Our set of referees here doing their best to really keep everybody separate in their memory and really getting the exact same things in order to stay consistent through the group.
Yeah.
That's a real challenge because we have to have such high focus as referees. He received a 5.73. So big thanks to all of our referees in the Summer of Poomsae. We have another one right at about that 5.80, just under some of the last competitors.
Yeah. And now we're going to see Ethan Gunn from New Jersey, Apex Tigers, and Cadet Gunn, who's his instructor.
Right, so we'll see his brother coming up here in the division as well. I don't want to give it away and let you know exactly when he's coming, but he's coming up. So if you're hanging on the edge of your seat, good. Stay there for a bit more. We have a lot of action still to come. So Ethan is competitor number 22, and going all the way up to athlete number 33 in our hunt for the top 8 competitors in the male cadet black semifinal round.
Let's see what that first score brings in for him. It's a 6.0, so that's still a little higher. We're getting out of that those 5 numbers a little bit.
We have plenty of athletes right in that 6.0 range too, so hopefully he can really boost it up here with Taylor Saja. Pretty exciting action. Really looking forward to seeing how well he does here. See if he can boost his score up a little higher to make sure that he's safe.
Yeah, again, I really missed competing, feeling that pressure between rounds and between forms. That was the hard part.
There's a lot of energy at an event, so we really had to try to conjure that up for ourselves at home and really boost up the energy level. But he receives, Ethan Gunn gets a 5.9, just a little bit lower than his first one, which is a 6. So of course a 5.95. So with this many competitors here, 33, just at about 1 out of every 4 athletes is going to make it into the finals.
Yeah. So now Grant Vermeulen from Oregon, from U.S. World Class Taekwondo, and Samuel Lader. And I remember him from the first round. Of course, I'm watching all the Summer of Poomsae too, so I did enjoy the preliminary rounds.
Yeah, I remember him as well. He's got a pretty strong body type here, so he can really start pushing the power level. When his coach and he maybe strategize for future events, he'll probably really push out from that core and really get some power going.
Yeah, definitely. And he seems to be a lot taller than a lot of the other athletes. So 5.40 for that first form.
Yeah, but tons of potential for Grant in future events, and just meeting up with your coach and talking about how you can express that power. Looks like you have the body strength to do it. It looks like you're pushing a little bit more and taking a Saja, and this is good.
Definitely. And we've seen that seems to be the trend too, as you said before. I mean, they know it longer. It's kind of like in the black belt divisions for the upper sections when we hit choreo. Everyone loves choreo.
You either love it or you hate it, depending on the day, right?
You gotta love it.
Gotta love it, sure. It's one of the kinder Poomsae for sure, not like the criminal Kungang or
Pyongwon. And here we go, 5.77.
So yeah, higher.
A little bit higher for sure. And a 5.58 then for the final.
Can't wait to see the standings coming up.
I know. That's the best part. I've got a nice score list going. So Ethan Kim is next. And Ethan is out of Illinois, out of Summit Martial Arts, and also working with Team M Community Poomsae program. So David Kim is his coach, but also on Hui and Long, the famous M team.
See so many athletes from across the country. We've had athletes so far from Colorado and Minnesota, California and Nevada, Florida, Virginia, New York, and now Illinois. It's really fun to see everybody joining in the competition.
It is. I mean, I think we all miss our, the time we're all together at these tournaments, because it's kind of like a reunion all the time. We get to see each other and hang out several times a year, but we're kind of missing that during this COVID time. And the first score comes in at 6.13, so very impressive. That's been one of the higher ones for a while for that first form.
Yeah, the standings come up on the screen about every 6 competitors, so hold on to your hat. We're almost to those standings coming up pretty soon.
So again, nice aggressive out of the gate on this. Bring in nice strong end.
바로
A little less movement would help a little bit there. You got to really lock in those stances.
차렷
That's a hard part as
경례
athletes are developing, you know, what to keep in to throw that power and then what to trim away.
Yes, ma'am. So 597, and that's going to bring it to a 605.
So there's our
There we
Michael
go.
Cho bumped himself up cleanly to first place, followed by Dylan Kim, Jaden Lee, and Alfred Lopez Salas. And again, we were looking for the top 8 to get into the finals.
And next up is Sean So.
So we're now at athlete number 25.
Sean's again from California, from Eagle Taekwondo, and Chunghwan Jin. Yeah. Sean is a very strong competitor and a real contender in this division.
Right, so he was on the team in 2018 in Taipei, the World Championship team, and he earned himself a silver medal. He's in the finals with the Korean cadet and came out with a silver medal in the division. So
It was such an exciting time. I was just standing up cheering. That was one of the best things to see live. And everybody was. The whole world was happy to watch that match. It was a tough match. So that's a really nice movement for him. And a 6.53, well rewarded.
So glancing through here, I believe that's the highest score so far, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I think we had a 6.57, ma'am. Or am I wrong about that in competitor 16?
16. I thought that was
Maybe I got that wrong.
8, but I think that was a 6.48. But we'll check.
Oh, no, that was the final. I just meant on the first form.
Oh.
Yes. So again, strong turns.
Taller since the World Championship.
Oh, a lot taller. I noticed that. I barely recognized him when I saw him. And now we'll see what that's going to come up with. But yeah, you're right. 6.48 is definitely the highest thus far for the final.
So we got a 6.53 on that first one, and now
And he will jump that spot. So 6.67 now. So he's definitely going to be over 6.48 from this position. It's going to be a 6.566. So 6.60.
so that's a number to beat if you want to get into first here. So let's see if Elliot Kim, his teammate, can do it. Also from Eagle Taekwondo.
And I wonder who filmed first. And I hope Elliot.
It was a long line because they had a lot of competitors.
Exactly. So
Senior 1.
Well, Elliot's got a real clean look. Not a lot of extra motion. Nice finish.
Yeah, so good strong performance from Elliot Kim on the first Poomsae Taegeuk Ojang, and that comes in at another high score, 6.630. It's interesting, you know, we stay in the low 6s for a while, and we get in the 5s, and then we come back up here. It's kind of exciting to see just how high can we possibly go.
Yeah, you want to definitely push that envelope, and getting into the finals, definitely you're going to have some people battling it out. It's going to be the best of the best then. That's always the goal for us. You know, the beginning goal is to try to get into that finals position. Getting into the top 8 is a real jump, and when you can do that consistently, then you're on to something.
Yeah, tough here with just about 1 out of 4 competitors making it to the final round.
And that's a nice Taeguksaja.
Yeah, 6.3 for his first Poomsae, and now for this one, a 6.2. So pretty good consistency among the judging there, and ends up with a 6.25. They all pretty much agreed on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
And that looks like a high enough score to get into the final round.
And here's Ryan Yun, and Ryan's also California, Taekwondo Kids, Team Kim, and then Bill Hyung Kim. There's some more of those bobs in the back. I'm glad I'm not the only one that puts Hogu on the bob, because I take the old Hogu and basically duct tape it to the bob. But
oh yeah, definitely need that. That big reach.
little short on that Akubi as he sets down, but that's always a tough one to keep your balance on.
A little wide. That seems to be a common issue.
Yeah.
You want to take a go jump.
And that first score comes in at a 5.90.
He's in good company with those high fives.
That's for sure.
Stop.
Really reaching up.
Yeah, definitely that right one was pushing high. Okay, so we'll finish up this one.
He received a 5.9 for that first Poomsae. See how this one comes in. It's about the same, 5.87. No surprises on any of those scores. 5.88, meaning all the judges were pretty much aligned on those scores there. So he ends up with a 5.88. Boy, it's really going to be a tough cutoff here.
Yeah, so Eric Chua and California, Black Tiger Taekwondo, and Kenny Cho is his instructor. And I remember this dojang and this competitor from the preliminaries. Another strong, but he's kind of not really breaking his rhythm much here.
Right. So we do need to see some contrast, right? We need to see
Yeah.
the difference there. And that's really going to factor into the presentation score, or that score. We have the referees. If you haven't seen Poomsae before, the judges are deducting for the accuracy as the Poomsae happens. He receives a 6.37 there for this first one. So that's a nice high score.
That is.
After the Poomsae is done, they get to decide, the judges decide how much of the 2 points, how much of 2 points they want to give you for power and speed, and how much of another 2 points they give you for the coordination of the rhythm and the tempo. So the contrast there between the softness and the power. And the last spot they can give you up to 2 points for is that expression of energy.
And I know we've talked a lot about his in the commentary about this being close to musical performance, but it is. And it's not just the notes that you have to get right, but it's the notation on how you express those notes, either volume and staccato, whatever you're going to do from that position. But you got to change it up to make it alive. And that really helps presentation.
Yeah, not so much the what, but the how, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that final is a 6.33. And let's see what that brings him in.
Yeah, his first one was a 6.37, so just underneath that.
So 6.35 is his final score. So good job, Eric.
Yeah, that's a nice high score in this division.
We're getting close to the end here too, Master Brand.
We are. We have just 5 competitors left.
준비.
And this is Apollo Tan. He's from White Tiger Taekwondo.
시작.
And his coach is Master Sung Tae Kim. Nice high kicks.
Definitely. And again, good use of a camera position here too. I've noticed that's one thing that I'm really learning in these video competitions is I definitely want to frame everything right with the right colors and contrasts and lighting and all those things so that you can really show off your technique.
Well, he has a really nice high set of side kicks there. Almost
Yeah.
really good reach.
Sure.
5.87 for Apollo Tan's first Poomsae.
准备
And I love the first name, Apollo.
시작.
It's that big reach again.
There it is.
Looks like his thigh is nearly hitting him in the chest as he
Yeah.
바로
A nice strong performance from Apollo Tan on Taeguk Sajang.
차렷.
He received a 5.87 for
경례.
his first Poomsae. Hopefully maybe a little bit higher on this one, get him closer to making that cut. 5.73 for that one.
Lower.
Unfortunately. So his final score is coming in at 5.8. And again, in good company, we have a lot of other athletes around that same score.
So 5.80, yep, all together.
Let's see, Boy, and he is from Connecticut, of course, training at World Champion Taekwondo with Gunsu Kim and Kwon Jin Ha. The accuracy on that line is pretty important. We want to make sure we show the distinction between the middle block height and the back twist height. Good reach on those side kicks.
Yeah, that left one was nice. That's a nice clean performance.
Shot. Hit it. Attention.
Okay, so although you're not able to see it, oh, here's his first score, 6.37. The athlete stands in place between the two Poomsae, so they're not separate recordings. This is one recording with two Poomsae on it. While that score is coming up, they're standing there and waiting for their second performance.
I think that's important to point out because it definitely makes a harder game. You have to get two good Poomsae in a row, not just one at a time. So that was definitely a challenge in the video.
Sure, yeah, and so many athletes recorded their first Poomsae several times trying to find one that they felt good about so they can continue to the second. And then just hoping that that second one was not going to have any type of error and it felt good, felt balanced, like, yep, let's go with that one.
Yep, whole new strategy.
While some athletes thought that this platform was going to be easier, it didn't turn out to be that way exactly. 6.2 for his second Poomsae and ends up with a 6.28. So that's a nice, strong score in this division. So we have
There we go.
Sean So, followed by Michael Cho, Dylan Kim, Eric Chua. Looking for those top 8 spots here to move on to the final round. And we have just 3 competitors left. So at this point, we're not really sure who's going to make that top 8. Anything can happen, so don't go too far. As a matter of fact, don't go anywhere. Here's Anthony Do training with us here in Sacramento at Sacramento Taekwondo Club.
And again, interesting backdrop here. I think I saw you do your forms in a very similar location.
Could have happened. You know, our club is closed right now due to the modified stay-in-place orders. We can do some things, but not others here in California. One thing we're not allowed to do is be indoors and be active. So we have to make sure that we're finding some alternate training spaces.
And again, I remember this from before. I mean, Anthony before, and again, very strong competitor, and that was a really good performance for Ojang. And the judges agree.
6.47 for Anthony Do's first Poomsae. So far, a good position. Let's see what happens with Taeguk Sajang.
Did you have to move a lot of furniture?
I had to move those lights up above. You could see them kind
of. Yeah, I could see.
And yeah, a bit of furniture for sure. A couple rooms worth. But it's all in the spirit of the fun of Summer of Poomsae. I'm sure a lot of other athletes and parents were doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
They were recording.
Again, strong Sajang.
So of course he's hoping for a nice strong score. The first one came in at 6.47. Well, and the second one, not nearly as high, 6.0 for that second one. Finishes up with a score of 6.23.
And down to the last two, ma'am.
Right, we have Cooper Canoon here. He also trains with Sacramento Taekwondo. He's in his home training space here. One of our taller athletes in the division.
Again, I remember this from before too. Really enjoyed watching the performance.
Looking for that high extension as well. Try to highlight that kick height. So we'll see how he does in that first Poomsae, Taeguk Ojang. Here's a score, 6.23. So I think these last three competitors are really going to factor into the cut here. He's really trying to push up on those kicking techniques, and of course everybody's favorite part. Look, I got to hear.
I'm done. That's what that last form when you're like, yep, I'm done. Okay, life is good.
So after 6.23 on the first one, he gets a slightly higher score, 6.33 on the second, and ends up with a total score here coming in right now at 6.28, just above the competitor before, Anthony Do, at 6.23. Now, here we are, Master Southwick, with our final competitor.
Me?
Oh boy. Eric Gunn.
시작.
Eric has an amazing presence, and it starts with his head motion, and then his command of stances is outstanding.
Right, he has quite a bit of online experience already, having competed in, I think, at least 3 online tournaments before this one. So kind of knew exactly what he would look like on a recording. So that's kind of helpful. Just as much as this one is going to help all of our competitors for the next one, right? The Summer of Poomsae, our inaugural online event, is really going to make it clear for athletes what they have to do in the next time, in the next event. Nice strong 6.47 for Eric Gunn.
And it is, again, such just a great thing that we're still able as athletes to continue to compete when around the world a lot of athletes are unable to perform their sport. And, you know, I kind of feel for them that way, but this has been one of the benefits of Poomsae. I never would have expected that this would be where it would go.
Yeah, certainly our sparring athletes are now suffering a bit because they have the contact that they're used to having with their teammates. And I know they're thinking their timing might be going a little off there, but I'm sure we'll be back soon and even stronger for it.
바로
Wow, now that
So
was
this
a
is
great Saja.
following a 6.47 for his
Cadet
first
경례.
Poomsae. Wow, even higher, 6.57 for
Yeah.
the second. So coming in with a 6.52. So here are the standings for the Cadet Male semifinal round. In first place, Sean So, followed by Eric Gunn, Michael Cho, Dylan Kim, Eric Chua, Cooper Canoon, Eric Sean Choi, and Elliot Kim. Those are the athletes that are going to move on to the final round. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the rest of the finishers as well in this division.
So if you need to, go ahead and freeze it when it comes up so you can see where the placings are.
And so those are all the standings, all the way from number 1 to 33. We hope that you enjoyed this episode 5 of Summer of Poomsae. Thank you very much for joining me, Master Ron Southwick, and also thanks to everybody behind the scenes, Xavier Pondo and Alyssa Allen, for doing such a great job and bringing the magic to us through the entire summer.
Yeah, it's been great. What a great honor to be with you again. I mean, you and I serve on a lot of things together in Taekwondo. We've been around the world on the Poomsae team several times, and it's been a great journey. And I just really enjoy these cadet divisions. That was exciting. This is the future of Poomsae coming up, and I only wish I had started as early as these amazing athletes.
We have more excitement ahead. In episode 6, we'll have our cadet females semifinal rounds for our color belt as well as our black belts going at it. So there's going to be a lot of excitement here in episode 5, finishing up here with these strong finishers. Looking forward to the final. And then our episode number 6, moving on to the cadet female, both color belt and black belt coming up next. So thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you have a safe and healthy evening and ready to join us next time.
Wow, Sherman, all I can say is the level of competition to this point just shows, look, it's so competitive across the board. Congratulations to all those cadet male competitors on an outstanding performance.
Yeah, it was exactly what we talked about and what we expected. We're starting to see our cadet athletes, just like in sparring, our cadet Poomsae athletes are performing like adult level Poomsae athletes. And it is that, you know, we said it when we were on the coaching staff, we would travel to these international events, that you have to comport yourself like a professional. And the game doesn't care that you're only 12 to 14. The game cares that you care about the game. So they demonstrated that. It was exciting to watch, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, again, congratulations to all our competitors who made it to the semifinals. You'll find out later who's in the finals of this, so it's going to be an exciting up and coming episodes. But again, this has been the cadet male divisions competing here at the USA Taekwondo Summer of Poomsae. But we have more coming at you. So without further ado, we want to say, sir, yes, I'd like to recognize the gentleman with the beautiful background.
Thank you for recognizing me. It is required that when you say Summer of Poomsae, you have to make the hand thing. You got to do that.
Thank you. I'm going to respectfully decline, but thank you for that. As everyone knows, on Chopping It Up with Jason Sherman, there has to be an adult in the group, and I've chosen to take that role on. So thank you, Sherman, for letting me have that role. That's wonderful.
Hurtful. That's hurtful. That's hurtful. Listen, it's been our pleasure to share this episode with you, to share these fantastic cadet athletes. But just wait. Next episode, we got some cadet females coming for you.
That's right.
Live and direct. So we will see you in a few.
Oh, oh.